to what is possibly the last session of Greatest Attorney 2 Resolve. Now, obviously that doesn't mean the last episode for you guys, it just means this might be the last time I will be playing this game for the foreseeable future, until I forget everything and then I decide to replay it again. But, presumably this should be the last session, I think, if I really give it my all. We last left off, we were in court for a bit, doing stuff. What were we in court for? Were we talking to Vigil? I can't remember. Oh, Iris gave us a little bunny thing to pull on the ear, and that somehow communicates with Sholmes, who was currently on the steamship with Mikotoba Watson, quote unquote. We were doing the deducing, or I forget the thing that you do with Sholmes, and we found Jigoku in a chest, like a big giant chest, and he locked himself in there because he was trying to get away from Mikotoba and Sholmes, because we're bringing him into court, because I think we're gonna accuse him of killing Gregson on the ship, because the ship was a wreck, possibly. I don't remember. It's been a bit since I played it. I think that's a good recalling of events. The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. Why did we halt the proceeding? Oh, is it because I think we had announced in the courtroom that Mikotoba and Sholmes got Jigoku and they're gonna bring him to court, right? I think. But outside the bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Right. It's a closed courtroom, whatever. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. It's Thanksgiving, dogs! I guess they wouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving in UK. In London, I mean. But we having a whole feast, and the court case hasn't even ended yet. We're celebrating before it's even concluded. Hey, look, the mashed potatoes and the pies. Oh my gosh, okay. We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. I thought we were going to take a break and then resume the court case. I didn't think we were going to actually leave and come back another day. Maybe this won't... We'll push through. We'll push through. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I know. You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in the court earlier. Why? I don't remember what happened in court. So this prosecutor, Asogi, had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed. Oh, Miss Naruhodo. I mean, it's incredible. To think that he'd even entertained the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. Oh! Completely forgot about that part. About how Gregson is apparently the tactician or like the Reaper, one part of the Reaper who goes around killing the acquitted defendants in Baroque's past cases. He was the one who plans it all, and supposedly Kazuma was the one who was killing the people or something like that. I completely forgot about that. I forgot that Gregson was presumably a bad guy. There might be more to it. I don't fully know. It's hard to say. I didn't even think it would come to this. Wait, did I think? I don't remember anything. I remember nothing. But yeah, I forgot. And then supposedly they say that Kazuma and Gregson were on the steamship with Jigoku, I think. Something happened. Oh, Gregson and Kazuma were on the ship, and I think they were waiting for Jigoku or something, but then Kazuma ended up leaving the ship and Gregson stayed behind. Something like that. Kazuma stayed behind in a boarding house in France. Somewhere in France, or something like that. I think it was. That's what they were saying. Oh wow, how did I forget all that? Clearly, I haven't edited that part yet. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. Right, he hasn't met him. When all this started, almost a year ago now. Sholmes never explained to us why he faked the reading of Kazuma's death, right? Because that was something that was brought up at some point when we were at the Madame Dispel's place. Ryunosuke brought up to Sholmes being like, "Hey yo, you said this man was dead, but he ain't dead? What gives?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll tell you in due time," and all you know that stuff. Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened, but I talk too much. I should just let them talk. About the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France.
Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes. So, what news of Judge Jigoku?
Took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Can you trust them? Can we trust them? Can we trust the investigators? Poor Professor Mikotoba. This must be quite a shock for him. I know, right? I can't believe this Dilfu clearly was very, totally not evil. Might be evil after all. Ah yes, I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. What? You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well. Of course he did. I vaguely remember something was being talked about at the hotel when Sholmes had shown up after the kids were talking to Mikotoba. Something about sending a telegraph to Japan about something about assassination news, I think. I don't remember.
Oh, you had a reply already?
I don't remember what it was for. What was so urgent though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. Oh, shut up! I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
You can talk while you eat. Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone.
Oh yeah, and she also disappeared too somewhere. I didn't think we were gonna see her again so soon. Ah, and what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I think the trial were won already. That's what I said. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie. Yorkshire pudding? Where's the roast beef? Why are you fucking lying? It almost looks like there's like 2 random dumplings on that turkey platter in between the red and the green thing.
Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up.
Oh. In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set, with a helping of pheasant as well.
Oh, sorry, Hurley. Not there.
Well, why ever not? Are we in set places this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
Yeah, Dad. That's right. I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey.
Oh my god. I wasn't expecting her to call him that. I see. Well, that's terribly kind of you. Yeah, she also accidentally knocked him out, right? He was like looking, he was about to look in the chest to like wax nostalgia or something, and then a punching glove popped out and knocked him out.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean?
Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie and I were half sisters, I mean.
Oh, she found out. She found out. Did she find out about the handwriting?
Oh! Iris, do you mean... Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday.
Oh my god.
I secretly listened in on the conversation you had, after I tricked you all into thinking I'd left.
Oh. Oh. What? Oh, so she found out that because she was like talking about how she thought the handwriting of like the notes or something that was left behind by her presumable dad. She compared the handwriting and thought that was her dad Wilson or whatever, but it turned out it was Mikotoba's handwriting, and there was a whole kerfuffle about it. The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. Oh, it was that, okay. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris's father. Not even Wilson? Oh. Yes, about that, Iris. You know,
I know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris.
She's too patient for such a young lass, man.
If Sholmes knows, he should be able to tell her something.
Oh, I'm gonna cry for her.
The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no, that's quite alright. Then why don't I get an apologetic pheasant? Sholmes. So just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. Is it gonna be like a new character that we've never seen, or is it someone that we've already known? So then, let us dine, while our largely pheasant-less plates are still piping hot. Fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
Eat as much as you like. There are always seconds.
This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan, and about Kazuma. I can't let this opportunity slip away. There's like no what the character. Oh, why is he sitting like that? That's not the appropriate way to sit while having dinner, Sholmes. Wait. I don't think there's probably not gonna be anything new around us, so I'm just gonna examine the food. Oh, just kidding. I can't even examine the food, or rather, it shows it as something that's already been examined. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circles for a while and look on with hungry eyes. It would have been funny if he was like behind the couch rather than on it.
Sorry, Herlock, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, I actually, the other day, I don't know how it came into my feed, but on Twitter, you know, Twitter's a little bit fucky now with how they show off feeds. Anyway, I've been just like, I'll occasionally scroll through the For You tab. One of the pictures that showed up was a fan art of Sholmes and Iris, and I'm like, dude, spoilers. I mean, they weren't doing anything suspicious or like spoiler-like, but it was very much like a father and daughter type of thing. So I was like, this better not be spoilers. Sholmes, are you daddy? I don't know, but yeah. Once we're done with this game, oh my god, I can look at everything I want online for this game. I've been holding mine for so long. I've been holding it for like 2 years. God. Mr. Sholmes, could I discuss some things with you? Certainly, my dear fellow. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt. You're hungry to learn more about my deep love of game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You didn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. Ha! Got him. But yes, I guess there is. I don't. Sorry, I got little burps coming out of me. The telegram from Japan. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then? Ah, this? I think my lucky stars had arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. Records? K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. Weren't those the names that we had seen in the Morse code from the first game? We've brought that up a couple of times, but I think those are all the names of. Where did that telegram come from? Or that Morse code note come from? What? Those 4 names. We've come across that exact same list before. I'm always one step ahead of the game. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be masking monumental intrigue. Oh yeah, the Devil's Benedict, the Benedict man. I don't remember if that was his real name. I don't remember the deal with him. He was like in cahoots with like Gregson for a little bit to try to get back something in exchange for testimony or something, and it was like in a music box. It's been so long since the first game. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. Ah, that's what it was. And exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of a message. Oh, okay. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up again now?
Yes! Where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes?
I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. It's so short. Enter Judge Shikoku's office, undetected, and investigate telegram records. Who in Japan is your little mole? Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. To Judge Shikoku. List the 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. Huh? Huh? What? Why did it? What? Why did he say Naruhodo? Why did he say Ryunosuke's last name? I sent her to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature.
You asked Inspector Hosanaga to undertake such an onerous task for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Turtle! I forgot about that.
And in my name. He said that note under this. Oh, okay, I see. I understand now. I wonder what guise he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, well, some names were found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean that mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was...
It was sent to Judge Shikoku. He was the intended recipient.
I don't believe it. They were dealing with confidential information or whatever.
But that doesn't actually answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies.
Reaper shit, dog. Or is there more to it? I did formulate a hypothesis about that. Oh shit, he looking up. Yo, he looking up. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once. Yeah, he looked up when his head was down. Wait, are we gonna hear it? A telegram from Inspector Hosanaga in Japan with details of the telegram he managed to locate by stealing it to Shikoku's office. God, I love Sholmes' fucking music, dog. Oh, I love me that violin. Record found as indicated, duplicate follows. Oh, Hosanaga had made a copy of the note that they found in Shikoku's office. Katage. What would that mean? We're gonna meet a character named Katage. All right. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Buria. It was all for nothing. Cosmo wasn't dead at all. But to find out that whole amnesia thing was fake too. We were completely taken in by that lie you told us. Your great detective's lie. Yeah, I cried for you, even though I knew it was fake. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. He didn't want Cosmo to come to London.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Mrs. Sato. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my! You mean?
The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Strongheart must be the one sharing the information to Judge Jikoku, right? Because Strongheart was the one responsible for Asogi being involved with the whole court system once he came to London by means or whatever, because despite having amnesia, he somehow made his way over here. And Strongheart was the one who put him under Baroque's tutelage. So it must be Strongheart, right? Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma from coming to Britain? And that's why you... Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? Yeah, I remember. Oh my god, how nostalgic. What? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice of both Great Britain and Japan. Wasn't he supposed to be beat up? He doesn't even have any bruises on him. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be beat up by somebody. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Around the time when we first really encountered Susato. Oh. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
So, you manipulated me.
I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend.
I don't believe it. What if it was all contrived? I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as a murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her?
She was sent back to Russia, wasn't she? Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. Oh, so she didn't end up going back to Russia. I seem to remember Mrs. Sato and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she'll live. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. She deserved, well, I guess because you guys are all under the assumption that he died, but, you know. I wonder if she made it to America then. This is new. She's looking down, but to the side. I'm just noticing all these new expressions.
I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
Man was sussy of him. The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see.
Oh!
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes knows. Why gotta wring it out of you? Come on. Oh, what? I guess I have to show him something? Not that. Presumably not that. What is this? A notice about a practice evacuation to be carried out by the crew of SS Grouse the night before the ship arrived in Dover. It was found in Judge Jikoku's cabin. Following the departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble the main deck at 10 in order to review evacuation procedures. That's probably going to be used in court later. There was no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Jikoku's office that should be searched. So, you obviously knew. That's where the list of names would be found.
K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson.
Oh yeah, I guess Sholmes would have been acquainted with Jigoku if he was acquainted with Mikotoba. We only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now. And only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that. Approximately this time last year, in fact, when you were both still in Japan. Oh, it was because it was brought over to us. Or rather, it was brought over to the UK. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. Oh, what? Damn, you nosy fuck. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it. What? His event? What?
Oh my, Mr. Sholmes! What a fabulous line!
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient, Jigoku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of that incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partially correct. Or partly, rather, and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow.
Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names, and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
You have to tell us now, come on. As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because you see, there was someone else on the list, who I believe to be recently deceased.
What? Who?
A shit, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asashi. She didn't die until afterwards, I thought, though. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
Ah! Heisogi and T. Gregson.
Oh, so he was trying to prevent Cosmo from coming into this country because he was worried that he was gonna die? Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going on ahead. Exactly. But you still wanted, for some reason... Oh, because if we had come to the study tour, then that would prevent Cosmo from going for a couple of years, at the very least. Well, he thought he was dead. Well, he didn't think he was dead. But, whatever.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I recounted many tales about Asogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. He thought he was daddy. Oh, well, she was expecting him to be daddy, but apparently he's not?
So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know.
Oh, Iris.
I knew he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of that name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No.
But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis.
A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh yes. You mean about Asa's sheet, I presume?
Oh, of course!
Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. But I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago, in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel. Oh! Wow. Oh yeah, he took him a long time. So he didn't even know that she had actually died then. And upon hearing that startling revelation, or maybe it was brought up during the conversation in the hotel, I guess. The hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? Topsy hypothesis. What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Sholmes? I had believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Yeah, they're the names of all the people who have been doing the Reaper stuff. Very much so. I thought Shin was a killer. That was new. But this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed. And it would seem that Mrs. Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Miss Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front. Wait! If they're coming to the conclusion that Shin's task was to kill Wilson, based on how the names were laid out, does that mean they're going to be under the assumption that Kazuma's job was to kill Gregson? No. No, right? Surely not. I just suddenly thought, like, did Judge Shikoku, like, order Kazuma to come here to kill Gregson? Because then it's like the same way back and forth, right? Britain sends Shin to kill Wilson, and then Japan sends Kazuma to kill Gregson. I hope not.
Which would of course explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Assassin is because he was the target of an assassination. Forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you? There's another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student.
Wait, you mean...
But of course, a name you know only too well.
You mean Kazuma?
I don't like the implications of this. I'm about to cry because I don't want to. No, it can't be. There's got to be something. There's got to be more to it. I refuse to believe that he came here with the intention of killing Gregson. It has to be more about that father thing. I'm not gonna sit here and accept the fact that you're trying to paint Kazuma as the killer. No. 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 He did say in court earlier today. I just had like a very startling thought of something that like goes back to the Ace Attorney Dual Destinies game, but I can't bring it up because that's fucking spoilers. Oh, it's not. No, I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Surely not.
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin exchange.
Assassin exchange? How could Kazuma possibly have gotten involved in something like that?
Let's assume that we have 2 parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange.
But, like, why? Why Wilson? So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student in Japan, where she kills her target. And then, the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student in Britain, in order to eliminate this target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo. that the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh, that's right. Oh, yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and voided under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. Strongheart. The highest levels. I'll accept that Strongheart's evil. He clearly looks evil. Have you seen the cover of the game? He clearly is evil. We see his back and he's all doing like that stupid Sasuke pose. Well, I don't know if he's laughing, but he's doing the hand thing. These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That this association and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Seishiro Jikoku at all. It would mean that Sholmes' target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Cosmo was here for Gregson? So Judge Jikoku wasn't actually the mark. No, because he's the one... Well, I've already said it.
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Yeah, that's why he was so mad before, right? When we found out about his death.
Mr. Sholmes.
I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. It was you who tried to send him off to France? Obviously. With the young pickpocket in tow. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition. That he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. Yeah, you're telling me. I'm like on the verge of tears at this. I'm trying to tell myself it's not true. Oh, Iris is here to diffuse the situation. I'm like, whiplash, man.
Alright, everyone. That's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day. Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time.
Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is. A little bit sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then, Susie would have been my big sister.
Oh, Mikotoba will be her daddy. Just do it. Do it for her. I'm sorry, Iris. Do it for her. I mean, you guys can still be sisters.
I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. Were you? But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister. What? Really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know how to throw Runa on the floor?
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, hold up.
Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure.
You didn't have to agree so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's gonna be my big sister, you could be my big brother if you want, Runo.
Uh-huh. I mean, yes, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Ah! Oh! Well done, Iris. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Oh. Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. It's so weird. We were having such a serious conversation, now it's like all like honky-dory. I don't... I'm like, I feel emotionally constipated right now.
Right. I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now. Because it's for my big brother and sister.
Oh, God. What is she doing? What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what?
Hehe. just have to wait and see.
Oh, of course. Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course. I can't even, like... I've processed all the information. It's just a matter of, like, accepting that there's gotta be more to it. I know there has to be more to it. Kazuma wouldn't! Or maybe he would to some degree, but there's gotta be something more to it. So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point, exposing new truths, whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jigoku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon. Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me. Ryunosuke, do you even have a family? Your parents alive? They must not be to some degree. You haven't mentioned anything about them. Ow! They one big happy family. Oh my god.